Hi, my name is Sophia. What's your name?
My name is Anothony Marchione.
It's nice to meet you. Can you tell us about your time at Sparrows Point High School?
Yes, I came to Sparrows Point High School as the principal 50 years ago, which was 1967. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to tell you about what it was like then, or what?
Yeah, like how you enjoyed being there.
Well, first of all, I really enjoyed being a high school principal because previous to that, I was a principal of a junior high school, which was what the middle schools used to be called. So the junior high schools had grades 7 through 9, and of course I went to Sparrows Point. And at the time, Sparrows Point was the first high school to have grades 9 through 12. There used to be junior, senior highs, grades 7 through 12, or they were 9 through 12 as high schools. So when I went there, it was the first high school in Baltimore County that had 9 through 12.
That was very cool to have that experience.
Yes, and I really enjoyed high school because there were so many activities in high school compared to junior high school.
Yeah, you got to do a lot more.
Yeah, there were more, there were sports teams and all kinds of clubs. And of course, the students were a lot bigger, taller, and had different interests. Junior high school, where you're going to go to middle school soon, right?
Mhm.
You in the 5th grade?
Yes.
Well, you'll see when you go to junior high school, middle school, everybody's going to run around. They keep running in the halls. In high school, they didn't do that.
Oh, so how did the schools change since when you were a principal at Sparrows Point High School? How did it develop throughout?
Probably they haven't changed that much, as far as I can see, because we had the same activities back then as we do now. Except at the time I was there were a lot of things going on in the country, in the United States. Do you want to hear about some of it? Because it affected our school
Yeah.
and this community. Well, in 1968, have you ever heard of Dr. Martin Luther King?
Yes, I have.
Okay. He was assassinated in 1968. And as a result of that, there was rioting all over the United States. All the big cities had riots. And they put cities on fire. They burned things, burned stores and so on. And we had some reaction to that at Sparrows Point High School.
Yeah, it must have been hard, seeing that all
Yes,
happen.
because it was, the African-American population was very small at Sparrows Point at the time, about 10%. However, the African-American students became active, recognizing that Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. So we had a sit-in of high school students, of the black students, sit in the cafeteria. They wouldn't go to class. And so it became an event in the school that was hard to deal with at the time. In addition to that, in the community, there was a shooting, which was very disruptive. So we put in place programs so that the students became much more involved. In fact, it was called Project Involvement. And some of the high schools and students, in fact, came here to Edgemere to tutor students. That was part of the activities. So that was a time of turmoil, but we got through it, and students got to work with each other and learn from each other.
Yeah, it must have been.
And new programs then were put into place at Sparrows Point High School.
Well, that's probably a really rough time during that time. So can you tell us about how you helped develop the school, change a little bit, or how you started to change the school throughout? Did you make any changes throughout the school when you were there?
Yes. In fact, because of what I just described, we decided to have students become much more involved in the governance of the school and how we made rules and decisions. So I implemented a program where we had assemblies of the entire school, of all 1,500 students. And we went to the auditorium, and it was a time for me as the principal and all the other administrators and all the student council members to be on the stage. And we would allow any student in the school to ask questions about what was going on, what the rules were, why certain things happened. So it was like a big convention where students could go to a microphone in the aisle, and they could come up to the microphone and ask a question. And I fielded the questions on the stage. And then if there was an answer I didn't know, I would turn to some of the people on the stage who knew the answer, because sometimes it would be someone from the student council. Sometimes it would be one of the vice principals, assistant principals. And sometimes, of course, it would be me. So that's one thing. The other thing we did, we increased the opportunities for programs for students. And we implemented some career programs that weren't there before. In fact, one of them was in becoming a bricklayer. So in front of Sparrows Point High School, as you approach it, there's a brick sign that was there with the pointer, the pointer of the dog. Did you ever see it? It says Sparrows Point High School. It's this brick.
Yeah.
And then there's a concrete plaque with it.
Yes.
And it has the pointer of the dog. The students built that at the time as one of their projects.
Wow, that was.
And that was in 1960 or 69 or 70, somewhere in there, long time ago.
So you helped a lot of students come together to do stuff together and have a little bit of a say and stuff.
Absolutely. It became, in fact, that's why it was called project involvement. We wanted the students to become involved in the school as much as possible and helping to make the rules and helping decide what programs they really wanted. So it was a good time. I enjoyed that, and the students, I think, liked it.
Yeah, it probably was. So, is there anything else that you want to share with us that I didn't ask?
Yes, it's interesting to me that Sparrows Point, the building, is still the same building I was in. It hasn't changed. That part hasn't changed. They did put an addition on. They planned a new science wing while I was there, but then it didn't get finished until 72 when I left in 70. So it was interesting. I just drove by there just a little while ago and hadn't seen it in a long time. And it's interesting, it's the same building. However, what's changed is this building, because I remember visiting this school when it was the original building, very old building. And of course, you have a nice new one now.
Yeah.
And it's quite a change. It's a very nice change. So this community Edgemere community really serves a much broader area than just right here.
Yeah.
And so does Sparrows Point.
It definitely improved throughout the years.
Yeah. And of course, Sparrows Point High School has a lot of history.
Yeah.
Do you realize that it's over 100 years, that not this building, but the school, the high school, is over 100 years old.
It's been there for a while.
Yeah, the first graduating class was in 1811.
Wow.
So in 1911, they had their 100th anniversary, and that's only, 6 years ago, or 7 years, 5 years ago in terms of graduating classes.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of history.
Yeah, it does. It's very.
Yes.
It's been there for a while.
So before I became high school principal at Sparrows Point, we never had football in Baldwin County.
Really?
And in fact, we played in 1969-70 school year. It was the first year we ever had football played in high school in Baldwin County. So Baltimore County, Sparrows Point won the first game that was ever played. In fact, we beat Dundalk, which is a big thing back then. Football was a part of this community. Of course, the big game was between Dundalk and Sparrows Point. So a lot of those students had played football before we had football in high schools. And we had the best team. Sparrows Point had the best team because they had experience from before. So that was interesting. So I don't know what else you want to see in here. Have any thoughts?
I can tell that the yearbooks have changed throughout the years. It's black and white and how the.
Yeah, in fact, we started using color. See?
Oh,
I think it's the first time they used color. And in fact, it's the football game I was talking about.
Nice that you can look back at them memories.
Yeah, well, I like it because it brings back memories of the time I was there. Yeah, it had most of the same sports, same activities. Yep. I thank you.
Well, thank you for coming today.
My pleasure. I'm
was
so
very nice
glad
meeting you.
I got a chance to do this with you guys.